Friends, if you can start making your way to your seats. If you are one of the people carrying a Torah, please do make sure you are checked in at your assigned location. We will start in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, we can see. Tibia gets the credit for that.
Come on, Tibia.
Friends, if you could find your seats, please.
We start with this.
If you can kindly find your seats so that everybody who is in the Torah processional can be in their places. Thank you so much.
This is legendary. We'll let her just start it, and then I'll
ישרי לב שמחה. זרוע לצדיק וישרי לב שמחה. זרוע לצדיק וישרי לב simcha. Oy zavu ala tzadik, u'yisrael simcha. Sing it with us. Oy zavu ala. Oy zavu ala tzadik, u'yisrael simcha. Oy zavu ala tzadik, u'yisrael
source of life, who calls us back to our truth, we are grateful for the opportunity to answer your call, to leave behind old ways, to turn with whole hearts. We know the work of this day is difficult. We know that there have been times that we have resolved sincerely and truly this time to be different and failed spectacularly by being exactly the same. To search our souls with honesty, that's the hardest part, because our pride is great and our fear too at what we'll see if we look inside. On this Kol Nidre night, we yearn to be better than we've been. We are ready to stretch ourselves, to reach for the light above us and inside of us. Help us, source of life. Be with us. Give us the opportunity to renew our days and return again to ourselves, to each other, and to you. Amen. I invite you to please rise to page 204.
בישיבה של מעלה ובישיבה של מטה, על דת המקום ועל דת הקהל, אנו מתירנה להתפלל עם העבריינים.
בישיבה של מעלה ובישיבה של מטה, על דעת המקום ועל דעת הקהל, אנו מתירנה להתפלל עם העבריינים.
בישיבה של מעלה ובישיבה של מטה, על דעת המקום ועל דעת הקהל, אנו מתירנה להתפלל עם העבריינים.
Kol Nidre Ve'esarei V'charamei V'gonamei V'chinuyei V'kinusei Shavuot Din Dana Udishtabana Udeagawimana Vadasana Ala Nafsha Miyom Kippurim Zeh Ad Yom Kippurim Haba Aleinu Letova Icharat Naveon Kulahon Yehon Sheran Shligin Shavitin Betelin Umevutalin La Shamirin Vela Kayamin Nidrana La Nidre Vesarana La Sare Ushavuatana La Shavuot.
Kol Nidre V'yasare V'acharame V'koname V'chinuye V'kinuse Ushevu Dindana Uri Sabana Uneacharimna V'diasana Miyom Kippurim Haba Aleinu Kol Yicharat Naveon Kol Hon Yehon Sharan Betelin Umevutalin Nidrana La Nidre Ve'esarana La Esare Usvuatana
La ואסרי וחרמי וקונמי וכינויי וכינוסי ושבות דין דנה ודשתבנה ודאבינה מיום כיפורים זה היום הכיפורים הבא כולהון איחרת נאוון כולהון יהון שרן שביתי ותהי ומבוטני לשבירי ולא קיימי We sing this together. ונצלח לכל הדת בני ישראל ולגר הגר בתוכם כי לכל העם בשגגה again ונצלח לכל הדת בני ישראל ולגר הגר בתוכם כי לכל העם בשגגה one more time ונצלח לכל הדת בני ישראל ולגר הגר בתוכם כי שלח נא לעוון העם הזה, כי גודל חסדך, וכאשר נסעת לעם הזה ממצרים ועד הנה, ושם נאמר ויאמר אדוני שלחתי כי דברך ויאמר אדוני שלחתי כי דברך ויאמר אדוני שלחתי כי דברך. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
You can take your seats. Welcome, beloved community. Welcome to those we see each week. Welcome to those we haven't seen since last year. Welcome to those who have joined us in the last year. Welcome to those who are coming for the very first time to see if this might be home. Isaiah says, Shalom, Shalom, lekarov lerachok, peace, peace, to those who are far, to those who are near. Welcome to you all. I don't want to wish you an easy Yom Kippur. I want to wish you a Yom Kippur in which you feel something. Even if it's just for 15 minutes, even if it's just for 5 minutes, even if it's just for one. I want to wish you a Yom Kippur in which you hear something that challenges you, not just to listen, but to act. I wish you a Yom Kippur in which Yizkor makes you cry because you've loved hard in your life, and that loving never goes away. I wish you a Yom Kippur in which you look inside yourself and see yourself and your life as worthy of the hard work it'll take to be better tomorrow. I wish you tough, honest, loving conversations with yourself, with each other, and with God. I hope the hunger actually makes you more sensitive to the next hungry person you encounter. I hope you hear Isaiah's challenge in tomorrow's Haftorah and internalize that fasting doesn't mean a thing unless it's coupled with a commitment to a more just world where no one is hungry. I hope you take care of yourself today. I hope you'll take a break when you need to, close the book when you need to, Eat if your body requires it, because authentically taking care of our needs is also not easy. I hope at some point you'll dance. I hope at some point you'll fall into silence. I hope the last shofar blasts 24 hours from now ring in your ears for many, many days to come. I don't wish you an easy Yom Kippur, but I wish you a day that is so much better, a day of being fully and truly alive. Gemar Chatima Tova. May you all be sealed for a good year, and may this journey that we take together be rich and meaningful, fruitful and challenging, and help us feel that at the end of this time we have shared, we've truly arrived at something new.
Mariv begins on page 207. I invite you to rise. Ya, 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 ya,
You may take your seats.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר דיברו ומבין בחוכמה ובדיוק שערים ובתבונם לשנא את עמנו. ומעביר יום ומביא לילה ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה אדוני צבאות שמו אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב הרבים.
Top of page 208.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. כן אדוני אלוהינו, בשובנו גובנו, נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח
This joy will last forever. When we lie down, when we rise up, this joy will last forever, forever. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל.
שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד, שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וגשרתם להיות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Continue silently on your own, page 209 to 210.
אדוני אלוהיכם אמת, ואמונו כל זו וקיים עלינו, כי הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואין זולתו, ואנחנו ישראל עמו. עושה גדולות. We're in the middle of 210. ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל, לכנו שירה ושמחה רבה, ואמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נאמר תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך על בניך, בוקע ים לבני משה, זה אלי ענו ואמרו.
Amar kifada Adonai et Yaakov ugalo miyad chazak mimenu baruch ata Adonai Gal Yisrael. At this time, I'd like to invite our religious school students to the bima. They're going to sing Hashkivenu with me. We're going to sing it together. I'm really excited as you guys are coming up. Make your way up. Everyone can come up to the bima, to the steps. I'd like to mention out on the table in the foyer, there's a flyer for our youth choir, which is starting October 15th. There will be 5 rehearsals, all on a Sunday at noon. All youth ages grades K through 7 are invited to be a part of this. We're working toward a performance at the Nixon Library in November. So it's really a wonderful opportunity for kids. Whether you're in our religious school or not, we'd really love for you to participate.
Nice job, guys. So you should know this is just a wonderful fraction of our religious school, which from hitting a mid-pandemic dip into the low 60s, maybe even high 50s, is now back up over 80 students strong. And we just want to acknowledge real quickly, if you'd stand up, Samantha Hoffman, our new head of school, our new director of community and family learning, doing an extraordinary job in growing our school so beautifully. Also, if you enjoyed that melody, you should know it was written by Dan Nichols, a prominent musician over the last 20, 30 years even, who will be joining our community in February for a Shabbaton together with Shir Hamalat Synagogue. We did this last year with David Swirsky on Friday night. Our clergy and our community is invited to go to Shir Hamalot on Shabbat morning. Their clergy and their community is invited to come and be with us. An opportunity to share in some extraordinary music and to build those bonds of connection across our Orange County Jewish community. So mark your calendars for February for a Shabbaton weekend where you can hear it from the real deal, though I don't think it gets better than our kids.
We continue on page 211 at the arrow. Ufros aleinu sukat shalom lecha, baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu v'yakol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. We turn the
Please rise.
page. Please repeat after me. Kivayom hazeh. Do that. Kivayom hazeh. Yechaper alechem. Yechaper alechem. Letaher etchem. Mikol chatotechem. Lifnei Adonai. Let's do the last word together. Tideharu. Yitgadal v'yikadash Shem Rabbah. Be'amadi v'rakirutei, ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayedechu beit Yisrael, b'gala, u'v'zman kariv, v'meru, amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei havaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yitshomam v'yitnasei v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei dekudesha barichu le'ela le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tushlichata v'nechamata da'amiran be'adama v'imeru.
The silent Amidah begins on page 213, continues to page 221. There's beautiful and extraordinary liturgy to explore here. It is also equally acceptable to close the book and to use this time for the prayers and meditations of your own heart. For 3 years of rabbinical school, I helped run a program each summer called Panim Summer Jam. Jam for Judaism, activism, and mitzvahs. Jam. Meant to appeal to the kids. A month-long experience for Jewish teenagers in DC. Kids came from all across the country and from a great diversity of Jewish backgrounds. Several days a week, they did service work at a preschool for vulnerable children, at a refugee resettlement agency, on a cleanup project along the polluted Anacostia River. They took classes about Jewish ethics and debated big issues with arguments rooted in Talmudic texts. They went on lobby visits, met with leaders, and explored DC. As we crisscrossed the district, we were constantly herding groups of teens on and off the wonderful and sparkling clean DC metro system. It actually is. If you haven't been on, it's like the opposite of New York. It's the only thing in DC which is clean. When we reached a destination, the kids in charge for that day would sing out to the whole train, "Jammers off the metro!" And all the kids were supposed to echo it back, to the great annoyance of the very important people rushing off to run the country. After assembling on the platform, we do a quick count and make sure no one was daydreaming their way to Virginia or Maryland before continuing on our way. It's actually a lot easier back then. There were no smartphones. So they talked to each other and even to us. It's amazing. One summer, I had a particularly frustrating staff person. An accomplished and bright woman in her 30s, she was startlingly inept when it came to recognizing the difference between her and her teenage participants. Once, after a long day of zigzagging from project to program and back again, she approached me and said, "Adam, I notice you're always counting the kids." "Yes," I said, wondering very much where this was going. "But I notice," she continued, "I notice you never count me. You know, I could get lost too." Oh dear. I think Cantor Amy would say, "Bless her heart." I have used this poor woman as a punchline for a decade and a half. But since this is Yom Kippur Eve, I think it's time for a little bit of public tshuva. Because the truth is, we're all in danger of getting lost. Even us grown-ups, if we don't have someone watching out for us, if we don't watch out for each other. Over the years, there have been a few sermons that have truly stayed with me for a long, long time. One was given by Rabbi Noah Kushner, the remarkable founder of a beautiful community in San Francisco called The Kitchen. As an aside, she called it The Kitchen because that's where the family hangs out. Guests sit in the living room or at the dining room table, but family, mishpacha, we're in the kitchen. And she wanted a community that was animated by that particular kitchen magic. I think we have a lot of that feeling at CBI here. Her sermon was on Parshat Matot Maseh, the final readings from the book of Bamidbar, known in English as the book of Numbers, but much more evocatively in Hebrew as the book of being in the wilderness. In this Torah portion, Moses devotes 45 verses to the 42 places in our desert journey where the Israelites stopped to camp. And they set out from Hatzerot and camped at Ritma. And they set out from Ritma and camped at Rimon Perez. And they set out from Rimon Perez and camped at Libnah, and on and on and on. What are we to make of this dry, seemingly endless list of archaic place names? Rabbi Kushner points us to a passage in Maimonides' Guide for the Perplexed, which states that the reason the Torah enumerated all these way stations and camping spots was to emphasize that while we zigzagged, we were never lost. We were going on a purposeful journey. Lord knows it was not the shortest or most efficient way of getting there. It was beyond the circuitous route. But we weren't just blundering about. We weren't lost. We were on our way somewhere, animated by a promise and with trust in God's help that we would eventually, however long it took, get where we needed to go. Well, it's very nice to know that our ancestors weren't lost, just zigzagging. I suspect we've all had moments when we know what it feels like to be Bamidbar, adrift in the wilderness. The structures and edifices of our lives that we spend so much time creating, at some point or another, it becomes clear that they're all built on sand. A strong wave comes and washes away all that we have carefully constructed. A job comes to an end. A relationship falls apart. A loved one gets sick, or we do. We walk into the valley of the shadow of death, and despite our best and deepest hopes, we don't sense the presence of a loving shepherd guiding us through. We just feel lost and scared and deeply unsure of our footing. We stumble in the dark. Before COVID, Ann and I used to host these giant Passover Seders, inviting 40 or 50 or close to 60 friends and students to come and join us. We'd set a theme and give homework, asking participants to come ready with an object that helps them tell a story. One year was the story of your family's ancestral immigration. Another year was the object you would take with you if you needed to leave it all behind. For one of our last big Seders, we asked people to bring an item that evoked a time when they felt in the wilderness. Someone brought their college ID. Someone brought a picture of their mom, who had been gone for many years. Someone brought an empty wallet. Someone brought an empty pill bottle. What would you have brought? When have you felt so very lost? And what helped you get found? What if we could pull back and see the times when we felt ourselves to truly be wandering, directionless and scared, with gentler eyes, with eyes of compassion and hard-won wisdom, to say, as Maimonides did, that while it appeared we were lost, we were always on a journey from here to there. That the places that we stopped, whether for years or for days, were part of what it took for us ultimately to find our way. Even when we doubled back on ourselves, made the same mistake again and again, relapsed, gave up hope, that it all mattered and nothing was wasted, because it all forms the story of our lives. That, as the rabbis like to pun, Hamidbar Midaber, the wilderness, it speaks to us. It's our teacher, too. Those times help us to arrive on our schedule and no one else's, to a place where we can finally find ourselves at last. In the beginning, Genesis teaches all was tohu vavohu, the wild, unformed, watery chaos, the darkness on the face of the deep. When our tradition wants to evoke that feeling of chaos for us, it calls upon the image of the primeval waters, churning and roiling, crashing and breaking, full of monstrous creatures, the Leviathan, untamed, unknowable. We're drawn to the waters. It's so beautiful, but we also sense their overwhelming and terrible power. As the prayer of the old Breton fisherman went, "Dear God, your sea is so great, and my boat so small." We conclude Kabbalat Shabbat each week with Psalm 93. It's often almost a throwaway piece of the service, coming after the much better known Psalm 92, the Psalm for Shabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai l'zamer l'shimcha elyon. Yet its final lines are among my favorite in all of our liturgy. Nasu naharot Adonai, nasu naharot kolam, nasu naharot dochyam. The rivers rise up, Adonai. The rivers raise their roar. The rivers raise up their waves. Mikolod mayim rabim adirim mishbarei yam adir b'marom Adonai. Above the roar of the vast sea, above even the crashing breakers of the ocean, Adonai stands firm. Adonai stands firm above it all. What is the purpose of religion in our lives if it's not to affirm that somewhere above the chaos, beneath the chaos, maybe even within the chaos, there's always a solid place? A place where the ground is firm, where we can hold on, where we can be at home. To help us become, in the words of the first psalm, an eitz shatul al palgei mayim, a tree planted by running waters. Place to find respite from our wanderings, to place deep roots that will not be swept away, to hold firm even in a time of so many storms. Throughout my first year as CBI's rabbi, I've been trying to capture and articulate the purpose of our community. Why are we here? Why do we do what we do? What, as my teacher, Rabbi Brad Hirschfeld, says, what is the real job that we hire a synagogue for in our lives? And I've come to believe, 15 months in, that we need spiritual communities like this one so we don't get lost. So that we have a place, as my old staff member in DC once longed for, where we are always included in the count. Where if we were to fall, someone would reach out and catch us. Where if we were to disappear, someone would notice and come looking. Where we can be reminded that we matter, that our lives matter, that our hopes and our pains and our dreams and our struggles are ours, but they're also a reflection of something universal, something timeless, something real. There was an enormously popular show on television that probably you remember about a bar where everyone knows your name. It was popular not just because of the incredible confluence of talent that made the show Cheers, but because it tapped into such a deep human longing, a place to belong, a place where everyone knows your name. The truth is, there are very few places left in our fragmented, alienated, corporatized society. At Starbucks, not only do they not know your name, they can't pronounce it on your cup. The gym is not home. A mall is not home. Costco actually is a place of meeting for many people. But it's not a home. Schools come and go as kids grow up. Jobs come and go in a very different way than they did for our parents and grandparents. What is a place where you can be at home through every stage of life, through every moment, good and bad, except for spiritual community? Spiritual community. Exactly what we're building here. While CBI is always busy, on Shabbat, this place comes to life, full of music and conversation, learning and schmoozing in equal measure, with kids running through the courtyards and occasionally, God bless them, on the bima, the sharing of sweet remembrances of loved ones past and the sharing of moments of great celebration, babies named and anniversaries celebrated, children taking their first official steps on the journey to become adults, with hugs and handshakes and clusters of friends and generations of family, with the feeling of being really seen and at home. You know, if you only come for these holidays, I want to warmly invite you to make this the year that you come and check out what Shabbat feels like here. It's really beautiful. And it's better with you. No guilt. Maybe just a little. It's the good Jewish kind. But more than being a joyful thing to get together each week, it serves a deeper and far more important purpose. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel described the Sabbath as an island of stillness, as a safe harbor where we can rest and regain perspective. But Heschel never conceived of a Sabbath as a day of solitude. He spoke instead of a day in which we reconnect with each other, with family, with friends, with spirituality, with community. 6 days a week we may feel we're going through the motions, racing to keep some semblance of control over our inboxes, our carpool schedule, our finances, our health, our sanity. But on the seventh day, we gather right here in this room, and we remind ourselves that we are rooted in an ancient bedrock, that we do not travel alone. It's a campsite. It's a way station. It's the knowledge that we zigzag through our personal wilderness, but we are not lost. That's what comes of true community. That's the vision, the higher calling for this institution. On this day of repentance, though, it's important for me to say in front of our community that we don't always get it right. That there are still people, and probably people sitting in this room, who walk in and out of this place and do not yet feel seen and known and cared for. That there have been people who have stopped showing up, and it took us all too long to notice. That even in such a warm community, even in such a loving place, people can fall through the cracks. For all of that, we need to keep doing better. I, as this community's rabbi, I need to keep doing better. We have a lot of work to do to create the kind of village that fully lives up to its promise and its purpose. But I can think of no more necessary and important labor of love. And for all the ways in which we can still do better, I want to tell you how proud I am of the many ways that this incredible community keeps people from getting lost. I'm proud that we have a dedicated refrigerator overflowing with food for anyone who might need to take without question or shame. How extraordinary. I'm proud that before Rosh Hashanah, a small army of volunteers went out entirely without my knowledge, armed with home-baked round challahs and honey cakes to deliver to our elders, to our sick, to our grieving. I'm proud that when tragedy struck again and again and again this year, sometimes more than once to the same family, that there never seemed to be enough chairs at a Shiva house. And that people of this community kept showing up again and again and again with love. I'm proud that when somebody walks through these doors, more often than not, they leave with a friend who will save them a seat for the following week, and not infrequently, a Torah reading assignment from Michael Baer. If you're able to visit without that, that's the trick. I'm proud that our warmth has become such a beacon that more than 80 families have joined us in the last 15 months. In a time in which our movement is shrinking, in which synagogues are shrinking, we're approaching the century mark of new families in less than a year and a half. That's because of the energy in this room. That's because of the way we show up for each other. I'm proud of you. And I'm proud of us. I'm proud of us for dedicating ourselves to ensuring that this is a place of inclusion and welcome and love. where people can be at home. A final note. The Hasidic master Rabbi Chaim of Tzantz used to tell the following story. Once there was a man who went for a walk in the forest and lost his way. He wandered through the thick woods many hours, unable to find a path out. Finally, he came across another human being, and his heart was filled with joy, thinking to himself, I will certainly now find a way out of the forest. When they neared each other, he called out, Brother, I'm so grateful to have found you. I'm lost and I've been wandering for hours. Can you please show me the way? Said the other back to him, I'm sorry, I don't know the way out either. I too have been wandering a very long time. And the first man burst into tears. He said, when I saw you, I felt sure I was saved, that you would show me the way, and now I can see there's no hope. But the second smiled gently and replied, it's true, I can't show you the way out, but still, I can show you something. Now we both know the ways that don't lead out of the forest. And better yet, we can go searching together. There is not a human being who doesn't know what it feels like to be lost. And since you've been there, and I have too, let's take each other's hands. Let's continue to build a place where we can all get ourselves found. Together we might zigzag, but I know we'll find our way toward belonging, toward rootedness, toward home, step by blessed step. Gemar Chatima Tova. Page 223.
We're going to sing the first two and the last two of Ya'aleh. Ya'aleh ta'achanunenu me'erev v'yavo shavatenu miboger v'yereh rinunenu ad arev Ya'aleh koleinu me'erev v'yavo tzikatenu miboger v'yereh rinunenu ad arev. Last two. Ya'aleh dovkeinu me'erev v'yavo gileinu miboger v'yereh bakashateinu ad arev. Last one. Ya'aleh enkatenu me'erev v'yavo elecha miboger v'yereh eleinu ad arev. Continue on page 225. Ya 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 Haneshamalach v'agupolach, chusa al hamalach, haneshamalach v'aguf shalach, Adonai oseh lema'an shemecha, atanu al shimcha Adonai, aseh lema'an shemecha, ba'avor kavod shimcha, ki el chanun v'rachum shemecha, leman shimcha Adonai, v'salakta la'avonenu, ki Repeat after me, just the first 3 lines. We're at the top of 226. El erech apayim ata. Uval harachamim nikreta. V'derek teshuvah horeta. Gedulat rachamecha b'chasidecha tizkor hayom. ובכל יום לזרע ידידך, תבן עלינו ברחמך, כי אתה הוא בעל הרחמים. בתחנון ובתפילה פניך נקדם, כי הודעת לעניו מקדם. מחרונה בחשוב, כמו בתורתך כתוב, ובצל כנפיך נכסה נתלונן, כי יום וירד אדוני בענן. תעבור על פשע ותמחה שם, יום ויתייצב עמו שם, תאזין שוועתנו ותקשיבנו מאמר, כי יום ויקרא בשם אדוני, ויעבור אדוני על פניו, ויקרא וסלקת לעווננו וחטאתנו ונחלתנו. סלח לנו אבינו, כי חטאנו, מחל לנו מלכנו, כי פשענו, כי אתה אדוני. טוב וסלח ורב חסד לכל פולח. Top of 227. We'll do the first two and the last two. Ki nekach omer beyad hayotzer virtzoto marchiv uvirtzoto mekatzer kein anachnu beyadecha chesed notzer la berita beit ve'al tefen la yetzer. Second one. Ki neka even beyad hamsatei birtzoto ocheis ubirtzoto mechatet kein anachnu beyadecha mechaye umemoter la berita beit ve'al tefen la yetzer. To the bottom two. Ki nekararia beyad harokem birtzoto meyasher ubirtzoto me'akem kein anachnu beyadecha elkona v'nokem la berita beit ve'al tefen la yetzer. Last one. Ki neka kesef beyad hatzorev birtzoto mesagseg ubirtzoto metzarev kein anachnu beyadecha mamsil mazor teref la berita beit ve'al tefen la yetzer.
Page 229.
Repeat after me, just the top line. El Melech Yoshev Al Kisei Rachamim Mitnaheg b'chasitut mochel avonot amo Mavir rishon Marbei mechila l'chataim Uslicha l'fosheim Osei tzedakot im kol basar v'ruach Lo kera'atam tigmol Il הורית לנו לומר 13 זכור לנו היום בברית 13 כמו שנתת לעניו מקדם כמו שכתוב וירד אדוני בענן ויתייצב עמו שם ויקרא בשם אדוני ויעבור אדוני על פניו ויקרא Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum Bechanun, Erech Apayim, Berach Chesed Be'emet, Noser Chesed L'alafim, Noser Bo B'fesha, וחטא ונקה וסלקת לעווננו וחטאתנו ונחלתנו סלח לנו אבינו כי חטאנו מחל לנו מלכנו כי פשענו כי אתה אדוני טוב וסלח ברב
page 233. Grant atonement and purify us on this day, as it is written in your Torah, for on this day atonement shall be made for you to purify you from all your transgressions. In the presence of Adonai you shall be pure. Bring us to your holy mountain and make us joyful in your house of prayer. As the prophet Isaiah prophesied, for my house shall be called a house of prayer for all people. Please rise.
וקבל ברחמים וברצון את תפילתנו. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה חדש ימינו כקדם. אל תשליכנו מלפניך ברוח קודשך אל תיקח ממנו.
אל תשליכנו מלפניך ברוח קודשך אל תיקח ממנו.
אל תשליכנו לעת זקנה ככלות כוחנו אל תעזבנו.
אל תשליכנו לעת זקנה ככלות כוחנו אל תעזבנו.
Top of 234. Eloheinu ve'Eloi Avotenu, Selach lanu, Mechal lanu, Kapel lanu, Ki anu Amecha ve'Ata Eloheinu, Anu Amecha ve'Ata Avinu, Anu Avadecha ve'Ata Adonenu, Anu Ke'alecha ve'Ata
חלקנו, אנו נחלתך, ואתה גורלנו, אנו צונך, ואתה רוענו, אנו חמך, ואתה נותרנו, אנו פעולתך, ואתה יוצרנו, אנו רעייתך, ואתה דודנו, אנו סגולתך, ואתה קרובנו, אנו עמך, ואתה מלכנו, אנו מאמיריך, ואתה מאמירנו. אנו הזיפנים, ואתה רחום וחנון. אנו קשי עורף, ואתה ערך אפיים. אנו מלאי עוון, ואתה מלא רחמים. אנו ימינו כצל עובר, ואתה הוא ושנותיך לא יתמו. אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, תבוא לפניך תפילתנו, ואל תתעלם מתחינתנו, שאין אנחנו הזיפנים וכשי עורף לומר לפניך. אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, צדיקים אנחנו ללא חטאנו, אבל אנחנו ואבותינו חטאנו. יאי 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 גזלנו, דיברנו דופי, יאי יאי הבינו והרשנו, זנו, חמסנו, טפלנו שקר, יאי יאי יעצנו רע, כיזבנו, לצנו, מרדנו, ניאצנו, שררנו, אבינו, פשענו, שררנו, קישינו עורף, יאי יאי רשענו, שיחדנו, תיעבנו, טעינו, תיתנו, יאי יאי שנו ממצוותיך ומשפטיך הטובים, ולא שבה לנו, ואתה צדיק על כל הבא עלינו, כי אמת עשית, ואנחנו הרשענו.
We continue page 237.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך באונס וברצון, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך באימוץ הלב. על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בגלוי דעת, חטא שחטאנו לפניך בביטוי שפתיים. חטא שחטאנו לפניך שחטאנו בונת רעב. על חטא שחטאנו לפניך ביצר הרע, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך ביודעים ובלא יודעים, ועל כולם אלוה סליחות, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, כפר לנו.
Please join with me in English. We have sinned against you through denial and deceit, and we have sinned against you by taking bribes. We have sinned against you by clever cynicism. We have sinned against you by speaking ill of others. We have sinned against you by the way we do business. We have sinned against you in eating and in drinking. We have sinned against you by greed and oppressive interest. We have sinned against you through arrogance. We have sinned against you in everyday conversation. We have sinned against you through conspiratorial glances. We have sinned against you through condescension, and we have sinned against you through stubbornness. For all these sins, forgiving God, forgive us, pardon us, grant us atonement.
ועל כולם אלוה סליחות, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, כפר לנו. על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בפריקתו, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בפלילות, על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בצדיעת רע. אחרי שחטאנו מקשיות רגליים. אחרי שחטאנו לפניך בתשומת יד, ואחרי שחטאנו לפניך בתימהון לבב, ועל כולם אלוה סליחות, סלח לנו, מחל לנו, כפר לנו.
Continue on page 240.
מי שענה לסרע אימנו בזקנתה, הוא יעננו. מי שענה לאברהם אבינו בהר המוריה, הוא יעננו. מי שענה ליצחק בנם שנעקר על גבי המזבח, הוא יעננו. מי שענה לרבקה בהריונה, הוא יעננו. מי שענה ליעקב בבית אל, הוא יעננו. מי שענה ללאה באונייה, הוא יעננו. מי שענה לרחל בעצבונה, הוא יעננו. מי שענה ליוסף בבית האסורים, הוא יעננו. מי שענה לילדות העבריות על האובניים, הוא יעננו. מי שענה ליוכבד על שפת היאור, הוא יעננו. מי שענה לאבותינו לאמותינו על ים סוף, הוא יעננו. מי שענה למשה בחורב, הוא יעננו. מי שענה למרים בבירה, הוא יעננו. מי שענה לאהרון במחתה, הוא יעננו. מי שענה לפנחס בקומו מתוך העדה. מי שענה לבנות צלוף אחד ביום דן פתח אוהל מועד. מי שענה לכל הצדיקים והצדיקות, הוא יעננו, החסידים והחסידות, הוא יעננו, התמימים והתמימות, הוא יעננו, והישרים והישרות, והרחמנים והרחמניות, הוא יעננו.
You can take your seats. This is a community which is extraordinarily generous with its praise toward its clergy. You take very, very good care of Cantor Amy and myself and of our families, and we are tremendously appreciative of that, and we appreciate the kind words that you say about the role that we play in helping to make this community what it is, and we work very hard. But the truth is that this community is not simply a reflection of its clergy or of its staff. It is at its core a reflection of incredibly committed lay leaders who come together to create this place anew year after year, to support it, to work through its many challenges, to literally keep the roof on the place and to keep it running. I have been just in awe of the two presidents that I have gotten to work with. Phyllis, in my first 6 months in this position, who brought us truly from darkness into light, from out of pandemic and back into community. And my old friend Jacob Green, who is an extraordinary leader, a real visionary, and somebody who seems absolutely tireless in your dedication to making this place shine. So it is my great honor and pleasure to pass the microphone to my friend Jacob Green to deliver an important message to all of us, and I encourage us to listen with open ears and then open wallets.
You made my job much easier, thank you. Shana Tova, everyone. When our son Noah was about 4.5 years old or so, he started sitting in the back of the sanctuary here, reading his own version of the Bible, the Pokemon Super Deluxe Essential Handbook. And one day after services at the Kiddush, Noah made his way to a quiet table, and he pulled out his Pokemon Super Deluxe Essential Handbook and resumed his studying at the Kiddush. And Nicole and I were sitting at the adjacent table when I noticed Pat Hutt approach Noah. Hi, I'm Pat. What's your name? Noah. Nice to meet you, Noah. What is it you're reading? The Pokemon Super Deluxe Essential Handbook, duh. Sounds very interesting, Noah. Who are the characters? Well, I like Charizard because he's super strong, and Giratina because he's 14 feet tall and weighs 1,650 pounds. Sounds very interesting, Noah, Pat said. Can you share one of the stories with me? Sure. And that was it. At that moment, Pat Hutt became the inspiration for our village. She had no idea how much that investment meant to Noah and my whole family, and how years later tonight, we would use her kindness as the basis for describing the best of our CBI community. A week after that first encounter between Noah and Pat, as Noah was getting ready to go to services, Noah asked me, will that lady that likes Pokemon be there? I said, Noah, she's pretty much always there, and I think there's a very good chance. And Noah entered the sanctuary, Pokemon Bible in hand, looking for Pat. And as we got towards the end of the service at the Elenu, Noah said, Dad, are services over yet? I'm hungry. Well, he might have been hungry, but I knew he was also on a mission to find Maria, who always provides him a warmed-up gluten-free bagel, ask her for some gluten-free cookies, find a table, and wait for Pat. And every week, without exception, Pat joined Noah at the back table at the Kiddush. She asked him questions and he had answers. And in a place that can be quite overwhelming, four and a half year old or any year old, with all the standing and sitting and turning and bowing and foreign language, Noah found his place, his village. How do I know that? Because in March 2020, all of us discovered what it means to lose that in-person connection. Noah lost his Pokemon study partner that month as we all moved to the virtual world, where Noah couldn't sit next to Pat any longer, and he was instead stuck on the couch with me and his mom and his older 3 sisters, the German Shepherd, and a goldfish, none of which were remotely interested in Pikachu's next battle. But on every single Zoom that we had, when I logged in early, and Pat was always there, she asked how Noah was doing, checking in on his well-being in his Pokemon Super Deluxe Essential Handbook. Our eventual reopening, led by Phyllis Abrams, was magical. We were back. And for Noah, he got his partner back. Now, by the reopening, Pokemon had been replaced, sadly, by the adventures of Captain Underpants, Cat Ninja, and Superfly, but that didn't stop Pat, the Pokemon superfan, from checking in with Noah. And it wasn't just Pat. Aaron Harari from the back would come over weekly with candy. Mike Vishny brought candy over every single week, and I won't share Noah's opinion on whose candy he thought was better. And we were reminded immediately of how much our shul represents a place of connection and mutual investment, a village. A year ago, Rabbi, Phyllis, and I started talking about what it means to use and leverage the word village. Historically, a village was an intimate community where people not only lived but thrived. Every individual, every family had a role to play. The blacksmith crafted tools, the baker provided bread, and the elder shared wisdom. Each person's contribution, no matter how big or small, was valued and crucial for the prosperity and survival of the whole community. Here at CBI, we come from different walks of life. Reform, Reconstructionist, Conservative, Orthodox, all here in our sanctuary. Some born in this tradition and rituals, some brand new, and some still searching, but all bringing their unique experiences, talents, and hopes. And in the last year, how our village has grown. Lots of transformation, some growing pains, and I accept full responsibility for many of those growing pains. But no doubt a lot of massive village wins. In this last year, our clergy team has challenged us to rethink the ways in which we redesign belonging and rethink about creating musical and spiritual experiences. If I got $1 for every time someone in this community came up to me and said, "How did we get so lucky to get this rabbi and this cantor in one place?" I wouldn't have to do the High Holiday Appeal next year. Right? Started with the buck right there. Our preschool is booming with new families coming in record numbers. Our bite-sized Shabbat services, our junior congregation led by our one and only Carl Cedar, second to none. We welcome Samantha Hoffman, as Rabbi introduced earlier, our Director of Family and Community Learning, who with our youth VPs have reimagined the continuum of education from preschool all the way off to college. Our new Executive Director, Samantha Brown, working with Adam Rollis and our office team and our flock of volunteers, are transitioning all of our systems over into Shul Cloud to make sure that we can serve you better and that we all have a central place to get the information that you need. This has not been an easy task, and we are so grateful for Samantha's leadership. Our USY group, which I know is back there in the back, woo woo, USY, right? Thank you very much. Our USY group is attending events in record numbers, thanks to our youth director, Sherry Galante, our youth advisor, Josh Velasquez, and our USY board. Last night, Havdalah and bowling had over 40 attendees. Interesting Jewish combination. They enjoyed the evening. And we continue to beam with pride as our USY chapter this past year received the coveted Chapter of Excellence. and continues to be the largest attending group of any synagogue at local and regional events. And not to be left out, those in their 20s, 30s, and sort of 40s-ish formed High Life this past year. Their first event was at Rock and Brews, beer and trivia, another very interesting Jewish combination. Over 60 Jewish young professionals showed up at that first night. And what was amazing is when it was over, nobody went home. They just stayed and they talked and they enjoyed each other's company. And not to be left out, this year the Prime Timers group was formed for those 65 plus. And at their first event, over 100 attendees showed up to their ice cream social. And you know what's even more special than over 100 people showing up at an ice cream social is for weeks I was approached by members of that event that said nobody would leave. And it's amazing that on a Friday night in the middle of the summer, we have a Shabbat under the Stars service on the patio with over 300 attendees, with seating only available on the second floor of the building. We started calling it the mezzanine, overlooking the patio. And that's incredible. But not as special as what happens after the service is over, after the dinner is over. Nobody leaves. Our adult education classes, where we could study the Torah Parsha before services on Saturday, learn essential texts from Rabbi Adam, learn how to read Torah by Cantor Amy, take Rabbi and Cantor's Introduction to Judaism class, study Talmud with Neil Spingard, learn from our own Dr. Ahuva Ho about reading Hebrew Scripture, and enjoy our CBI book club with Judy Bernstein. It's all here in our village. And I know from personal experience that when these classes are over, nobody leaves. And the investment we make here at CBI isn't just in each other and in ourselves, it's also in the community and the world in which we live. Our Welcome Circle initiative has provided support to a refugee family from the Ukraine, providing housing, job training, and summer camp. Our Social Action Committee organizes Sunday supper with community faith groups, blood drives, and a host of other activities to ensure here at CBI we're connected and engaged with the world beyond these walls. It's beautiful and wonderful that one of my greatest challenges as your president is how to condense all of these shul activities into the few minutes during announcements at Shabbos. Together, we've been revitalizing and realizing the vision that our synagogue founders, many of who are here in this room with us tonight, had over 40 years ago to create a Jewish home in Orange County for all generations, a thriving village. Here at CBI, we just don't talk about a village. Even our board reflects our commitment to intergenerational leadership. For the first time in the shul's history, there are 3 generations from the same family on the board of directors. And I am so excited and honored to announce this evening that on March 17th at our next gala, we will recognize, celebrate, and honor this very special family and the over 40 years of service they have dedicated to our village. Our gala honorees will be Mark and Sue Ann Cross, Sherry and Craig Billowitz, and our president of USY, Ari Billowitz. 3 generations serving together is what our shul is all about. Thank you, Pat. Thank you for caring about Noah's Pokemon Super Deluxe Essential Handbook and for demonstrating what it looks like to invest across generations. And as our kids grow up, so grows our village, where our programs and services and facilities require our collective investment. Tonight, I invite each one of us to embrace our roles as village architects, builders, caretakers, and investors. Let us jointly ensure that our village continues to stand as a place of strength and togetherness for many generations to come. On behalf of all the CBI presidents that are here, over 15 tonight, the board of directors, my wife Nicole, my 4 children, we thank you for your generosity, and we wish you a Gemar Chatima Tova. At this time, my friends, you were all handed an envelope with some stickers. If you did not receive one, just wave your hand and Sam will come through and provide you with one. It's an opportunity, if you feel so inclined, to stick one of those stickers on your high holiday ticket or your business card or whatever it is we can reach you at, and continue to contribute to this wonderful and very special place. Thank you very much.
As you take a look at the sticker numbers, I invite you to look at whatever number your eye comes to first, and then double that number. Because to create something as extraordinary as our president described, to create a place where nobody can get lost, needs each and every one of us. Please, please reach and make our sacred work possible.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Kolenu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, Chamol aleinu, ve'al aleinu, ve'tapeinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Kale Deber, ve'cherev ve'rav, me'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Kale Kotzar,
Thank you so much. If you've not yet completed your envelope, please feel free to complete it, get it to one of our ushers, hand it to us even as you leave. Thank you so much, everyone. I invite you to please rise. Page 243.
אבינו מלכנו חטאנו לפניך, אבינו מלכנו אין לנו מלך אלא אתה. אבינו מלכנו עשה עמנו למען שמך, אבינו מלכנו קדש עלינו שנה טובה. אבינו מלכנו אתה. אבינו מלכנו בית המזבח. אבינו מלכנו סלח לך בכל פרטינו, אבינו מלכנו בחי. Repeat after me these lines in bold on 243. אבינו מלכנו החסימנו בתשובה שלמה לפניך. אבינו מלכנו שלח רפואה שלמה לחולי עמך. אבינו מלכנו זוכרנו בזיכרון טוב לפניך. אבינו מלכנו כותבנו בספר חיים טובים. אבינו מלכנו כותבנו בספר גאולה וישועה. אבינו מלכנו כותבנו בספר פרנסה וכלכלה. אבינו מלכנו כותבנו בספר זכויות. אבינו מלכנו כותבנו בספר סליחה ומחילה. אבינו מלכנו חברה ישראל עמך, אבינו מלכנו כמה אבינו מלכנו שנה כולנו נספרחם כמה ברחמים רצים תפילתנו. אבינו מלכנו עושה למענים לא למעננו. אבינו מלכנו חוננו בנינו. אבינו מלכנו חוננו בנינו כי עמנו
You can take a seat.
יגדל ויגדש שמי רבה, ועמד דברה קירותי, והמליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון וחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלו בזמן קריב ומבוא, אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעלם ולעלמי עמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי דקודשה. ברכו לעילא לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא בימיבו אמן. תקבל צלותהון ובטחון דכל ישראל כל דם אבוהון דבישמיה בימיבו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל בימיבו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל בימיבו amen.
Did you enjoy that chance to sit down? Please stand up again. Elena is on page 246.
On hakol לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו ככל המונם ואנחנו לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ביוסר הארץ ומושבי גרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים הוא אלוהינו אין עוד אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו כך כתוב בתורתו וידעת היום בהשיבות אל לבבך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. על כן נקווה לך אדוני אלוהינו לראות מהרה ותפארת וזכר להעביר גילויים מן הארץ על נעים קראתי ותום תקמלות שני בכל נס לנך ככתוב בתורתך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Can be seated, all those except those saying Kaddish for a loved one. Kaddish is found on page 247, and we offer it as a testimony to the idea that people die, but love does not. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei Rabba, v'yalma divrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayeh dechol Beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'imru. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam olmei olmaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran bi'alma v'imru. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Oseh shalom bimramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
On page 248, we come to the psalm for the season that we are in, the season of Teshuvah, and in particular to a line, I believe it's 8 lines down in the psalm, Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai. There is only one thing I'm asking of you, God, and that's to be in your presence. A beautiful melody written by our own Chazan, Cantor Amy.
אחת שאלתי, אחת שאלתי מאת אדוני, אותה בקש, אותה בקש. אחת שאלתי, אחת שאלתי מאת אדוני, אותה בקש, אותה בקש. שבתי בבית אדוני כל ימי חיי, לחזור בנועם אדוני ולבקר בהיכלו. שבתי בבית אדוני כל ימי חיי, לחזור בנועם אדוני ולבקר בהיכלו. אחת שאלתי מאת אדוני, אותה בקש, אותה בקש.
In a moment, I'll invite my friend, our president, Jacob Green, up to share just a couple of announcements before we conclude. I wanted to, just quickly before we do that, I wanted to acknowledge one special visitor we have in our community, Rabbi Peter Levy, head of the ADL branch for Southern California. Rabbi Levy has been instrumental in helping to support all of our efforts, including the efforts following up after the incident that we had over the summer. And we just want to express gratitude to him for his leadership and to the ADL for their support. We'll take this opportunity to invite up Jacob Green to share a couple of announcements before we conclude.
Thank you, Rabbi. And thank you again for your kindness and your generosity this evening. A few announcements about tomorrow's services. Services start tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Childcare is available for age 2 through 5 from 8:30 to 1:30. Family service will be in the Family Life Center at 9:15. Torah service will be at 9:45-ish. K through 5 1-hour high holiday program will start at 10:30 a.m. Rabbi's sermon is about 10:45-ish. Yisker will be at 11:15 a.m., right when our bite-sized service starts at the same time, and our teen discussion starts at 11:30 a.m. Musaf with Cantor Katz and the choir will start at 11:45 a.m. And then during your break, join us for restorative yoga in the courtyard from 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. Mincha starts back up at 4 p.m. and Yismechu, Nila, and Havdalah. The Yismechu, special Yismechu is coming back tomorrow for Nila and Havdalah at 5:30 p.m. I just want to add to Rabbi's comments in thanking the ADL and thank also our SDM Security Services, our Shomrim, and Steve Summer and our Security Committee for helping us all week long stay in a safe community here at CBI. Gamar Chatima Tova.
Chatima Tova. We'll conclude with the Igdal. I invite Ivy Brown and Clara Green onto the Bima to join me. Junior cantors. Please sing with us. Yigdal Elohim chai ve'yishtabach nimtza ve'enet el metziuto
תפילתו קדמו לכל דבר אשר נברא ראשון ואין ראשית לראשיתו.
הנה אדון עולם וכל נוצר יורק גדולתו ומלכותו שפע נבואתו נתנו אל אנשי סגולתו ותפארתו. לא קם בישראל כמשה עוד נביא ומביט את אמונתו תורת אמת נתן לעמו נביאו נאמן ביתו.
Skip to the last one.
מתים יחייהם ברוב חסדו ברוך הדיין שם תהילתו. מתים יחייהם ברוב חסדו ברוך הדיין שם תהילתו.
Lashana Tova.
Shana Tova, we invite you to be back tomorrow to spend really the whole day with us. Remember, this is not meant to be easy, but it will be gorgeous. Thank you for starting us off so strong, everyone. We look forward to seeing you in the morning. Rest easy.
Good advice.
Careful. This is a very expensive microphone. Maybe. They're getting hustled right now. You too.